These videos are largely based on design that I did 2 or 3 years ago called Alexa, which used SQL Server and ADO.NET rather than MySql and MySql connector/net. And the main design is I had a 3-level interface of forms, and at the time I thought it was a really good design, really creative. I still think it's creative, but I now think there's a better way of doing it, having done several other database programs that didn't involve my presenting videos about them. But I'll continue with this design because I thought it's pretty cool, and then I'll probably also show you a way of doing it that I think is probably a little better after I finish the record edit video. The record edit approach looks like this. Essentially you have the query edit tab page, and that spawns the query results list view, which is the second level, and it gets a SQL statement from the query edit page that is based on controls within the query edit page, like get all the records from movie 1 that start with D or something like that. And then on the second level, the query results, you can then make multiple selections of DVDs and then click an edit button, and this will spawn multiple levels of edit records. So the edit record looks like this, and it's essentially 2 sets of fields. There's a text field that shows what the current value is, and then a field you can change if you want to change that. And I have a checkbox by the previous value which says if this is checked, change this field, or if this is checked, change the title field, or if this guy's checked, change the location field, and so on. And I've divided this up into 2 videos. In this video we're just going to load up the original value that's in the current record. And in order to do that, we basically have a SQL that does a join of the 3 tables, and then it says where the ID is equal to the ID that we've gotten from the query level. And we get the ID from the query level the same way we showed previously, but we just popped up a message box from the query results form. Now we're taking that value and we're creating an SQL that then lets us create a MySQL command based on that SQL, and a MySQL data reader based on that command, and it puts it in a result table, which in this case will always only have 1 result rather than having multiple results. And then we get that result by doing a read on the MySQL data reader, and then we get the specific fields in the usual way by saying MDR square bracket quotation mark title quotation mark square bracket to string, and put that in local variables, and do the same thing with all of them. The only thing that's a little different is we convert the MDR scene to a bool, and if it's true, then we set the text field equal to scene, and if it's false, we set it to unseen. So basically this code fills in all the original values of the record fields, but we haven't gotten to the update part yet. I'll look at that in the next video. And of course the key value, the record key, is passed to the constructor of the edit record form, and then we take that parameter and set it to a global member variable, m_in_rec_key, which then is used in the SQL. That's a technique we've seen several times. In fact, we've seen it a couple times just within the query edit tab page. If you look at the query results second level form. Basically it references the form edit record as ER, and then it goes through in a loop at all the selected items .count. And where we used to just pop up a message box that said what that record key was, now we do a LSV query results .selected items parent I, where I is the loop variable, .tag to get the record number, since the tag's associated with the name and the list view. And then we instantiate a form passing this record key to the constructor of the edit record form. And then we just do a edit record show dialog. And since it's a show dialog, until we close this edit record, none of the other edit records will pop up, so we won't get a whole collection of cascaded edit record windows, which is an approach we could use, but I think it's much more confusing than just doing them one at a time. So if we compile and run this and say a location of sci-fi 01 and all the titles that start with an R, which I hope there are some, and we do a query, we see we got Real Steel, Red Dawn, Red Werewolf Hunter, Resident Evil, Rise of Planet of the Apes, and Robot and Frank. And if we select several of these, initially by clicking and then by clicking and holding down the control key, and clicking. So say we select 3, or maybe 4 would be even better. And then we click the edit button. The first edit record pops up, and it's record number 19. It's seen in that field, Real Steel in the title field, Sci-Fi 01 in the location field, and Robot/Cyborg/Android in the genre field. And if we just press cancel to close this, since we can't really save it since I haven't written the update code yet, the next field pops up, which is the Resident Evil, and we hit cancel. Next one pops up, which is Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Cancel, and I think the last one pops up, which is Robot and Frank. And need to close all 3 levels. And I guess the only thing I haven't shown you here is that in the form edit record, the cancel button, and all that does really is a close. You can say this .close too, but just close works. So simplicity is the way to go. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video and learned a lot, and I'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe.